Hello friends, my name is Swapnil and in this video we are going to discuss the topic of method overloading and some of the popular interview questions around this topic. Okay, so let's start. So what is method overloading? It can be defined as when a class has more than one method with the same name, then we can call that methods are overloaded. Okay, so overloaded methods will have different number of arguments or different types of arguments, but the name of the methods will remain the same. So remember this, the name should remain the same. Okay, so compiler will check the method signature for checking this valid method overloading. Okay, so what is this method signature? It consists of three things: method name, number of arguments, and types of arguments. So if these three things are same for any two methods in a class, then compiler will flag us the duplicate method error. So let's see this error in action. Okay, so in this example you can see there are some methods with the same name, method overloaded. Some methods, one method is having int as a parameter, another is having double as a parameter, and again the last method, this one, is having the same double as a parameter. So if you see, compiler is giving us the duplicate method error for this last method. Okay, so how can we resolve this? Just we need to either change the parameter from double to some float or any other data type, any other primitive. Okay, or what you can do, you can just add one more parameter to this method and see the error is gone. Okay, so this is nothing but the proper or valid method overloading. So let's see some special cases around this topic. Okay, so this is case one, and in this case, if you see, there are two methods with string as a argument and object as a argument, and we are calling these methods, okay, by passing this object and string as argument. So this do stuff call will give us the object version as output as we are passing new object. Then the next do stub call, we are passing swaps as an argument, that is a string, so we will get string version as output. But what about the last one, null? So we are passing null as argument, so object can be null and string also can be null. So there is a ambiguity, so you might think that we will get ambiguity error, right? But let's see what we will get. Okay, okay, so if you see, if I run this program, so before running this program, as per my opinion or as per my knowledge, so we will get string version as the output for the line number 16 method call. Okay, so why? Because instead of directly going to the parent, compiler will first check is there any child available for this call. Okay, and that's why it will give you string version as a output. Okay, so this is the case one, and this is very famous interview question. Okay, so let's move to the next case. In this case we are passing string and string buffer as argument, and the method name is same, that is m1. So if we call by passing a string, so obviously the string version will be called for the first call. For the second call we are passing string buffer and amar as a string, so string buffer version will be called. But for the last one, what should be the output as per you? Okay, so let's see that in action. So see, if I uncomment this, then I am getting ambiguity error, right? The method M1 is ambiguous because what's happening, whatever parameter we are passing here, that is null. So string can also be null and string buffer also can be null, and that's why compiler is giving us the error, ambiguity error. So this is also a special case. Okay, so how can you resolve this? You just need to pass either like this. Okay, and you can see that the error is now gone and we are able to run this program. Okay, so next case, in this case we are passing two parameters to both the methods, but the order is different. Okay, so in first method the order is like int and float, and in second method the order is like float is there and then int is there. Okay, so can you guess what will be the output? Okay, so let's go to the Eclipse, and you can see that for the first one it's pretty clear that the output will be, as we are passing 10, so 10 is a int or integer, and 10.5f it's a float value, so that's why we will get int float version as the output. For second one we are passing float first and then int, so float int version will be the output. But let's see for this one, we are passing both as a int. Okay, so both arguments we are passing as a int, and we are getting this error, ambiguity error. Why? Because there is no automatic promotion is happening over here, and that's why we are getting this ambiguity error. And the same error we are getting for this last one as well, even if we are passing both the arguments as a float. Okay, so there is one concept in overloading where there is automatic promotion is happening. Okay, but that's a different case and we will see it in a different video. So let's move to the next case. Okay, so in this method, uh, in this class there are methods. One is having normal method and one another is varargs method. So if you see, we are first making the call to this m1 method, so it's, so can you guess what will be the output? So t dot m1, it will give varargs method as the output. So you might wonder why. So obviously, to m1 method there is one parameter, so we at least should pass uh, one parameter to the m1 method to get the output as a normal method. But in this case, as we are not passing any parameter, so we will get varargs method as output, because varargs method can take 0 or n number of arguments, as we know. For the second case, again we will get the varargs method as output, and the last one, as we are passing one parameter, so we will get normal method as a output. So this is simple one. Okay, I will just run the same snippet here, and you can see that first one is varargs, second one is also varargs, and last one is normal method, as we are passing just one parameter. Okay, so let's move to the next case. Okay, so this is also a very famous interview question, and for this question, for giving the answer to this question, you should have the basic fundas very clear. Okay, so if you see, there are two classes, animal and monkey class is there. Monkey is extending animal class, so there is inheritance relationship. And in this test class method overloading case 5, we are having these methods. First is taking animal as a parameter and second one is taking monkey as a parameter. So if we create animal object, animal a is equal to new animal t dot m1 of a, so obviously as we are passing animal parameter, so animal version will be called. Same will happen with the monkey parameter, so monkey version will be called. And at the last one there is some confusion. Okay, so which version will be called? So as per the rule of method overloading, so in case of method overloading, it will decide on the reference. Okay, it will decide on this reference and not on the object. Okay, so and the decision will be taken at the compile time and not at the runtime. Okay, so for the last one we will get the output as animal version again. Okay, so let's see that in action. Yeah, so we can see that we are getting animal version for this line number 22, then monkey version, and again we are getting animal version only as this reference is deciding. Okay, so compiler is deciding based on this reference and not on this object, and that's why we are getting the animal version as the output. So these are some basic, and these are some basics and special cases regarding this method overloading, and these are some important points which we need to keep in mind for the valid method overloading. Okay, so for method overloading to be successful, as we see, method name must be same and method must have different number of parameters or different types of parameters. But if method names are different, then obviously those two methods will be different, will be treated as a different methods. Okay, then overloaded methods may have same return types or different return types. So it doesn't matter in overloading if the overloaded methods have same return types or different return types, that we can see from these examples. Okay, so if you see this example, so this method overloaded is having void as a return type and this method is having int as a return type, but still these two methods we can say as a overloaded method because the parameters are different to both of the methods. Okay, so return type doesn't matter in overloading. Then overloaded methods may have same access modifiers or different access modifiers. This is also doesn't matter in overloading. Okay, so if you see this example, in this case if you see the access modifiers here, for this method private access modifier is there, for this method again private is there, and for this there is protected and this is public. Okay, so this is this doesn't matter. So access modifier is also not going to play any role in case of method overloading. Then overloaded methods may be static or non-static. This also does not going to affect. So it's clear that there is only a one rule which is going to play a very big role, that is the method signature. And method signature, keep remember that method signature will have three things: method name, the number of arguments, or types of arguments. So this is all about the method overloading. Okay, thank you.